around a head shape. It requires more than just a flat template to felt it into the shape. It requires a lot of pressure points being moved in different areas, which can be achieved the way that I'm showing you how to make the hat. I've got pink. This combo is pretty cool. I'd love to see somebody make that one. This one, teal and blue, it makes copper. Very beautiful. I had made some slippers in the past, and it's definitely a top color for me. All right, so I'm gonna put this stuff away, and we're going to make a sauna hat. Straight off the saw, because it's just a bit wide. It's nice, and it's soft. But a few sauna hats. That is nice too, actually. That's even nice just for me. Maybe I'll get everyone to felt their hats a little bit bigger, because that is very comfortable, which is really nice as well. The brown one's quite cute. You can tell it pulls here and pulls here, and then like it's, the thing is you can shape it so it sits nice. And it is comfy. It's supposed to be like a mock neck. Okay, so we did the sauna hat part where I showed all the sauna hats. That's good. I have divided the wool fiber into 4 bits and 70 grams total of fiber for the sauna hat. And this is going to be an all size sauna hat. And so the idea is that you can cut the template to the size you want when you're done to make a large, medium, or small. One color is going to be the inside color and another color is going to be the outside color. It is reversible and you can turn it inside out. But we're going to start with the inside color. So the first layer we lay down is going to be the inside color. With the first side, then we'll flip it and lay out the second side, and then we'll lay out the second layer, the first side, and then we'll flip it and finish the second side. And then that will be the surface layer of our sauna hat, in which you could decorate and add a different design to your sauna hat, different shapes. You can add peaks, or you could add a curl at the top, you can add a loop at the top, you could add ears, and you can even reshape your sauna hat. I've created this template to fit the head in this area here so that it sits nicely and it's deep enough, snug for all sizes. If you grab the fiber from the tip, you get a small piece. And if you grab the fiber further down, you get a large, thicker piece. I like to grab the fiber not at the top, but sort of in the middle to get a medium piece of fiber. And this way, because we're grabbing a medium piece of fiber, there's a lot of control over the evenness of where we lay our fiber out and how the fiber is laid out, and so it's not clumpy, and the sides are easier to fold over when we flip it. And I'm going to make sure that I lay a centimeter over the edge, because our edge is part of the project, and so we need to flip it over and fold those edges over, and that's going to become the side of our hat, and so it needs to be balanced and even. And so the idea when you're laying out your fiber is you want it to be nice and even as possible. And you just want to overlap the fibers a little bit. And at this point, we don't need soap. The soap helps the fibers stick together so that it doesn't stick to the bubble wrap So when you peel it off, it's just easier. You can just place your bubble wrap on top, bubble side down, and the idea is that we're just wanting to wet the wool. Completely soak it. We don't want waterfalls, but we want it to be nice and wet. And this is a time-consuming project, so I do find if you are teaching a workshop, it helps to apply more water than less. What can happen if you apply too much water to your project and too much soap is that when you fold your edges over, they begin to sag on the edges. And when they sag on the edges, if you don't pull them back in and begin to felt your project, it'll create a crease around that edge. Water and then checking and applying more water, and it is just time-consuming. These are my felt pads from scraps of projects that I really didn't like, and you can place water on top of your bubble wrap and a little soap, and you can just massage it around, which is a very relaxing way to do this process. But I don't like to get wet, so I like to use my felt pad and just kind of hover it over the bubbles. And the idea is just to press the water around lightly, especially around those edges. And you just want to get those bubbles out. There's a little bit of bubbles here and there, and you can tell there's air in there, and the water just hasn't gone into that area, and I can see other areas that it has, and so I'll just pull water from those spots and kind of press them in. You don't want to press so hard that you're gathering up the fiber. You definitely don't want that. You want all the fibers to stay in place. And so it's kind of a hover and a shimmy. And then I'm going to flip my project. I like to flip it from the side. Many people will flip it like this, but depending on the project, I like to keep my design facing one way. But really doesn't matter. And I've got some dry fibers, and I do find it's best to make them wet. Okay. And we're going to gently peel our bubble wrap. And now we're going to fold our edges over. And I like to gently first fold it over because you can see creases are just going to form here if I press them down, but I'm going to spread out the creases. So after I fold my edges over lightly, there is an extra crease in the corners here, and I've just folded them nice and flat to be tidy. What I'll do is keep in mind when I'm laying out my layer, my second side, is I'll just skip those corners. They don't need to be done. You can just place your fiber down to the edge of your resist, flip it, and do the other edge. You don't need to have this fold here. I just enjoy it. It's just a much easier process for me to just fold over all the edges, and then in my workshop everybody can just cut a straight line across instead of kind of fiddling with an uneven edge, where to cut it, how big it is. And so that just helps me with my own dimensions. We just want to spread out each little piece and press. Lay out my fiber the same direction vertically, and I'm just going to fill it in this time. I'm not going to do my edges because I already have edges, and because we want it to be nice and even and level, I'm just going to fill it in. I'm still going to overlap some of the light end fibers. Layer, and we're going to do another layer, and this time we're going to lay our fibers out horizontally. I like to turn my project a little bit just so that it's more comfortable to lay out. You can just keep your project like this and kind of just lay it out as well. Turn your project entirely this way. For some reason that kind of confused me about which way I'm laying my fibers out, and so I like to just turn it slightly. So sometimes on your second layer, you don't need a lot of water because you already have some on the first layer, and that's going to soak up quite a bit. Press, 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 and that's it. Give it a shimmy, give it a light shimmy. Move that water around your project. Get it, and you feel you need to, you can check and make sure it's nice and wet carefully. That's pretty good. I'm just going to flip it. fold over my edges. I think I like to fold over the sides first and then the bottom. Doesn't matter though. So yes, just lightly flip it over. Don't press it down yet. Then, and when you're folding it over, you want to ensure that it is fairly tight up against the resist. I won't press it tight, but I will gently push it towards the edge. And so it hugs the edge nicely. Otherwise you'll get that crease and the fibers will felt together. And we don't want that. Mix up the fiber direction, and they might even like start going around the hat like this, which seems intuitive and natural, but I think it is a great strategy, especially for hats. If you need areas to come in, if you're going to be a hat felting connoisseur, for example, you might want to experiment with different ways of laying out your fiber, because the hat shape, flat, doesn't end up perfectly around a head shape. It requires more than just a flat template to felt it into the shape. It requires a lot of pressure points being moved in different areas, which can be achieved the way that I'm showing you. But I do encourage other ways of laying out the fibers. I've seen people will lay out the fibers, they'll maybe do two like this, then two like this, and so on. So that concludes our second layer. Now if you want to add any design to it, you can. Happy with the layout. You don't want it to look too organic. You can leave it as long as you like, but you just need to make sure you wet it again and it's nice and sopping wet when you begin to roll. And at this point, this is where the soap actually helps the fibers move a little bit, and when they move, they attach together and intertwine, and that'll help felt the piece. And so you do need the soap, and you definitely don't want too much soap. I like to use a natural soap because it kind of dissipates throughout the process. What can happen is if there's too much soap, or if it's a very soapy soap, it'll kind of just slide everywhere and not felt. So we actually want the fibers to felt, and there does need to be a little bit of a grippiness to the project. And so too much soap, too much slipperiness will prevent the felt from attaching together quickly and easily, and you might need to rinse your project. So now we're going to roll our project up lightly. I don't want to push the water out. I don't want to squeeze it out. I need the water to stay in. And I also need air to stay in the project. And so that's why I want to roll it up lightly instead of tightly. Now I'm going to roll my project 50 times on each side. So that's 50 rolls 4 times, and that is just for one set. And I'm going to do 3 sets, but you can do 30 rolls on each side. I do find that is easier for beginners. And after 3 sets of 30 rolls, you may just want to check your project and make sure that the fibers have felted together. And if they're not quite felted together yet, there's no creases forming in your project because the fibers have shrunk a little bit around the resist, then you want to give them another roll one more time just to catch up to all those numbers. And so I find 50 rolls each side 3 times is enough to felt my project together. You can go quickly, just lightly. Every time we do a set, we will increase our pressure, and we will apply a little more pressure and a little more strength into our roll. Rolled my project 50 rolls on each side for 3 rounds, And you may find at this point you're starting to get creases in your fiber, and that's because the fiber is shrinking and the resistant side is resisting the fiber from shrinking. That's okay, we're going to take out our resist. What I like to do before I take out my resist is, just to ensure that the fibers have felted together, I will lightly roll my project without the bubble wrap. You do want to make sure you have enough water in your project when it's on your towel. If it's dry, it won't felt. And I just roll it up lightly. And it's really wrinkled now. And that's kind of how I know that it's felted. It's all attached together. And I'll roll it the other direction. And it doesn't matter if it's a nice neat cut, because you can just cut it again. And then we're just gonna pull the resist out, and we can use that same template for later. I like to cut it in sort of a semicircle, and you can flip it and cut it in your semicircle. You just draw a line when it's wet. If you do cut it late in the process, you can work that edge by rolling it, and you'll create a beautiful smooth edge. And that's just going to shrink it up. It's going to make it look like felt. It's going to fold the fibers. By this time, my hat is getting closer to size, and so I like to grab a dry towel. Fit. Quite fairy tale like. I don't know, it's more of a dome shape. I'm not sure about it, but I think this way is best for the shaping. I like this way, but you can decide which way you want to wear it. If you feel like it should have been that way, you can more of a rounded bulge up here, and so you're gonna have to shape that. And that is pretty much our sauna hat. Now you can shape your brim however you want. You can cut your brim off if you don't want a brim, so that it's just plain. You can shorten it. You can keep the edges long. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed making a sauna hat. I hope you decorated your sauna hat. I wish you could post pictures in the comments, but I'm not sure if you can. But if you do, I have seen people tag me on Instagram, and I've been able to see their projects that they've made, and I love that. That's very exciting to see people watch my videos and tag the picture. And so if you want to do that too, feel free. You can tag at Muffs Merino, although I may change it to the Palette Parlour. It's in a bit of a transition, but for now it's still at Muffs Merino on Instagram. I kind of like to let my project dry in the shape that it's going to be. Kind of rub that. And if you have a felt form, that's usually better. Yeah.